So my Through the Roof story starts in South America. I grew up overseas. My parents were missionaries. So I definitely grew up hearing about God, but didn't really have a personal relationship with Jesus. And then I came to Duke freshman year, and that really shook things up for me. I'd always based my sense of worth on just outward achievements. I kind of just wore them as badges, all my accomplishments, my grade point average, getting along with people, being well-liked, just projecting this image of perfection. And I came to Duke, and everyone was like that. And just this base that had kind of defined who I was started growing really shaky. And I just remember every paper I turned in, I felt like that was going to be the paper that got me found out and kicked out of Duke. I was just so insecure. And it kind of just got progressively worse. And then middle of sophomore year, I just the straw that broke the camel's back was this paper that I was freaking out about, and I just began to really down spiral into pretty deep depression. And my dad had to fly up and take me home. And for 5 months, I was just completely disconnected from the world. Just completely disconnected from any emotion. My limbic system literally stopped working, and had just basically lost all hope of life. I just lost my sense of identity. I felt like I'd been wearing masks my entire life, and they'd finally all fallen off, and underneath that I was nobody. And I just, major existential crisis. It was awful. It was the darkest moment of my life. And finally in April, I went home in January. Hadn't been talking to God at all. I had no faith that he could pull me out of it. I heard God's voice say, Leah, if you try and overcome this on your own and work your way out of this forest and just get past these obstacles, you're right, you're never going to be able to work your way out of it. But if you look to me, I promise that everything will fall into place. And first glimmer of hope in months. 2 weeks later, May 7th, bam, came out of my depression. Way too long to be able to share in this really short testimony what happened, but basically since then, that was a year and a half ago, God has just completely, he used that time to strip me of everything that had ever given me worth, a false sense of worth. And I'm just I found my purpose in him. I figured it out. I got that that was what my identity was based on, not accomplishments. He's just freed me from my anxiety problems, and it's my friendships have just become so much more meaningful, and I understand that my purpose here is to serve him and to love others. And he's just brought me completely through the roof, completely freed me, and I'm just completely indebted to him for allowing me to go through that, to contrast that darkness with the light that's in him. So that's my story in 3 minutes.